You're locked in to the Grain Market Talk podcast. Fast updates, market movers, and the grain news you need right now. Trading commodity futures and options involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors.
This year's crop tour is sponsored by Green Key Ag, a plant nutrition company that takes your fields to their max potential. Please contact Noah at 712-441-5446. All right, today is August 6th. We're going to recap day 4 of the crop tour today. Thank you for joining me. I've got Jaden Houselog with us today. How's it going, Jaden?
It's going good, Mike. How about yourself?
Oh, pretty good. Let's talk about your day 4 travels. You kind of worked through Indiana, Illinois, on the top side of the states into Iowa there in the eastern side last night. Just tell me a little bit about your day 4 route to get started before we give some final yield estimates on Indiana and Illinois.
Yeah, Mike. So as we worked west there, back home to Laverne, where our home base is, our home office there. So kind of the same story, I'd say, from day 3 into day 4 yesterday, kind of the same story. So as we worked in the northern part of the ice states, continue to see drown out spots, continue to, those low spots are really showing, yellowing of corn. And a lot of the farmers we did talk to, they said their corn just didn't look good early on. And that reflected in a lot of the samples we pulled. And if Kate shows that aerial tour we did in June there, that was the end of June there. And this is McLean County. So this is the highest producing county production-wise in Illinois and in the United States. So you can see there the standing water. To me, that's just going to have an everlasting impact on yield. So we're going to, at the end here, we'll say our final yields, but it's definitely going to take some bushels off here. Soybeans overall, I thought looked pretty good, but kind of the same story from what we noticed in Indiana and Illinois. They're just too wet, and a lot of the ground that's farmed in the part of the state is just flat. So there's really nowhere for the water to go, and a lot of the farmers received close to double the amount of rainfall they normally receive on a given year. So that's kind of what we want in those two states.
Interesting. So as you worked through there, you could see that aerial tour from Cade really sums it up. That's June 26th. You can see the excess standing water there. It was just too wet early on in the season for a lot of Indiana, Illinois, and a little bit of Ohio there. Planting got delayed a little bit in some cases, but they were a very, very wet start to the year. And then in July, it started to get dry. And when you combine those two things, sometimes that can be a little detrimental to how the crop looks. You get a little shallow root, they don't dig as deep, and then when you start getting wet feet, especially in the soybeans, things like that later on, it can be a little difficult. So we'll see. They've been picking up a little bit of rain. It was raining on you in western Illinois yesterday, correct?
Correct, Mike. That was our first rainfall.
Gotcha. Well, as I look at it, so Illinois, Indiana, rain makes grain, right? They started off pretty wet, then it turned a little dry. Now we're getting a little bit more rain in that part of the world here as of late. Not too much, but just a little bit. What do you got to say for the samples you pulled out of those two states? I know from the aerial tour we saw one thing, condition-wise from the road one thing. What did it look like sample-wise, ears in the field?
West Indiana, a customer stopped there. I mean, the first thing he said, so they're coming off a record year last year yield-wise, and first thing he says, we're not beating last year. I mean, he was quick to say that, and the samples reflected that. Little skaters, not 12, 14 round, definitely reflected there, and some emergence issues we noticed too. So samples just not quite as good as last year for sure. And also one thing to note, maturity was all over the board. So we got to remember these states, they got some planting done there in April, and they had to take like a month break. So I think that can come to impact the crop as well.
So quite a bit of variability. They're a little bit behind ours maturity-wise. A little bit too much rain at the beginning, started to dry down some. So not as good as last year, which last year was phenomenal for those states, correct, Jaden? I mean, we were talking record yields out of that part of the world, weren't we?
Yeah, correct. Indiana had a record last year at 204. Illinois was 3 below a record at 214. So I think we're going to have to put them below last year in both states. So starting with Illinois, we're going to put at a 209. So that's 5 under last year, 8 under record. In Indiana, we're going to put at a 199, and that's 5 below last year, which was a record.
All right. Well, heard it here first, folks. Please continue to follow along on the tour. We've got day 5 of the tour. I'm going to be headed out doing a northern tour today with a few other folks across the Dakotas and Minnesota. So please tune into that as well. We'll have a podcast later today or tomorrow on day 5's findings with Jaden Houselog, Lucas Peters, and myself. Can't wait to really go through some things with you folks. If you want to continue to send in samples, go through our blogs on the website as well. Send us what you got. I really want to hear your opinion of how your crop looks in your part of the world. More data, the better there. So please click on the link in the description below. Please hit the subscribe button on YouTube. Jaden will catch you next time, and we'll have our final yield results out on Friday.